In this speaking practice test, you will be able to demonstrate your ability to speak about a variety of topics. You will answer 6 questions by speaking into a microphone. Answer each of the questions as completely as possible. In questions 1 and 2, you will speak about familiar topics. Your response will be scored on your ability to speak clearly and coherently about the topics. In questions 3 and 4, you will first read a short text. The text will go away, and you will then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then be asked a question about what you have read and heard. You will need to combine appropriate information from the text and the talk to provide a complete answer to the question. Your response will be scored on your ability to speak clearly and coherently, and on your ability to accurately convey information about what you have read and heard. In questions 5 and 6, you will listen to part of a conversation or a lecture. You will then be asked a question about what you have heard. Your response will be scored on your ability to speak clearly and coherently, and on your ability to accurately convey information about what you heard. In questions 3 through 6, you may take notes while you read and while you listen to the conversations and lectures. You may use your notes to help prepare your response. Listen carefully to the directions for each question. The directions will not be written on the screen. For each question, you will be given a short time to prepare your response, 15 to 30 seconds depending on the question. A clock will show how much preparation time is remaining. When the preparation time is up, you will be told to begin your response. A clock will show how much response time is remaining. Number 1. In this question, you will be asked to talk about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. What is the most efficient type of transportation in your country? Explain why you think it is efficient. Include specific reasons or examples.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Number 2. In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Some people believe it's essential for a person's education to learn to play a musical instrument. Others don't believe music education is important. Which view do you agree with? Explain why.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Number 3. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read the article about a college radio station. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to two students discussing the article.
What do you think of the proposal?
I think it'll work. I mean, the range of the station now is basically limited to the campus, and so it's basically just a few programs, mainly for students.
Yeah?
Well, if this proposal goes through, there will be more programs, and it'll give the students more professional experience as they experiment with programming for a much larger, real-life audience. And stuff like that'll give them a better shot at getting a job after they graduate.
Of course.
Besides, the whole university will benefit from it.
What do you mean?
Well, you know my friend Tony, right? He told me that the radio station at his university did something like this about 5 years ago.
And?
Well, it's a success. They are making a lot of money out of commercials, and they are using it to offer more scholarships and to help fund projects to renovate the facilities of other programs.
That sounds really good.
The woman supports the proposal described in the article. Explain why she thinks it will achieve the university's goals.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Number 4. In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now, read the passage about subliminal perception. You will have 50 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a psychology class.
Consider this experiment. 2 groups of people were asked to watch TV, and while they were watching, a picture flashed on the screen. Less than a second, very quickly, so it was barely noticeable. The picture was of a boy with a birthday cake. Now, like I said, there were 2 groups, and each group saw a slightly different version of the picture. One group got the boy looking angry. In fact, he was actually throwing the cake on the floor. The other group got a picture of the boy smiling, happy, holding out the cake like he was offering it. Same boy, same cake, but different emotions expressed in each picture. Everyone was then asked to look at a different image. Now, this is a third image, right? Again, it's the boy and the cake, but this time the image stayed on the screen. In this picture, the boy's just holding the cake, basically no emotion on his face, everything very neutral. Now remember, nobody knew they'd already seen a picture of this boy. After a minute, everyone was asked to describe the boy's personality. Those who'd been exposed to the image of the angry boy, they generally described the boy's personality negatively. Those who'd earlier seen the happy boy described him, well, positively.
Describe what subliminal perception is and explain how the experiment discussed by the professor illustrates this phenomenon.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Number 5. In this question, you will listen to a conversation. You will then be asked to talk about the information in the conversation and to give your opinion about the ideas presented. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to a conversation between two students.
Hey, Madison, what's wrong?
Oh, I'm just struggling about what to do. I won an award from the Pacific Journalism Institute for an article I submitted, and...
Doesn't sound like anything's wrong.
Well, it's a huge honor to win, and there's an awards ceremony they've invited me to attend, which I'm super excited about. But, and here's what's frustrating, I've got a philosophy exam that's scheduled to end right when the ceremony begins.
Uh-oh. You're saying you'd just be finishing up taking the exam right when the ceremony starts?
Exactly.
But those ceremonies never start on time. They give long introductions, you know, have a general speech or something before they ever get to handing out awards. I'm sure they won't be ready to hand out your award right at the beginning. Just go when you're done with the test. You won't miss anything important.
Maybe, but that's a bit risky. I don't want to miss being there when they announce my name.
Well, have you talked to your professor about this?
Dr. Forrester? No.
Maybe she'll let you take the exam some other time.
True. She lets people reschedule exams sometimes, but she always makes them take it a couple of days early. That would mean less studying time for me, which I'm not thrilled about.
Less time to study. Oh.
Like I said, I'm still struggling about what to do.
The speakers discuss two possible solutions to the woman's problem. Briefly summarize the problem, then state which of the solutions you recommend and explain why.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
Number 6. In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in an economics class.
So when we talk about the demand for a product, we're referring to how much consumers want to buy it, right? And often the demand for a product is influenced by its price. The more expensive it becomes, the less chance that people will want to buy it. Okay, but that's not the whole story. Sometimes the demand for a product can also be influenced by the price of other related products. First, there are those products called substitute goods. If products can be substituted for one another, then they're called substitute goods. They're similar enough to be interchangeable. And an increase in the price of one means an increase in the demand for the other, like like butter and margarine. They're pretty much used for the same purposes. Margarine's a butter substitute, and you can bake equally well with either. Well, when the price of butter goes up, it becomes less affordable, and so what do people do? They buy margarine instead, right? So, you see, an increase in the price of butter increases the demand for margarine. Now, another instance where the price of one product can influence the demand of another is when you have two products that can't be used without each other. Those products we call complement goods. They complement or complete each other, if you will, like compact discs and compact disc players. You need both products in order to use either. So if the price of either product increases, demand for both is likely to decrease. And if the price of CDs goes up, well, demand for them will go down, right? And because CDs and CD players complement each other, what'll also happen is that the demand for CD players will go down too.
Using the points and examples from the talk, explain how substitute goods and complement goods influence demand for a particular product.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.